Hello everyone, this is the video of legal studies, and in this video today I will be discussing something interesting because by the time wherever you study or even you are going to start your study, you must be focusing on the contents of law, not exactly what law is. So in this video, which I named as Law and Introduction, I will be discussing everything about the law only, not the contents of the law. Contents means the chapters, the topics of the law, not at all. Rather, what law exactly is and what understanding law has about the society and what society thinks about the law and how law plays a role in our society or even at a minor level or very specific in our personal life. So everything will be discussed in this video today. So what are the key terms? As always, I focus on first the key terms that I will be discussing in this video. So let's check out what are the key terms. The first one, of course, that is introduction of law. Secondly, what is law? Third one, meaning of law. Do not get confused with the what is law, what will I discuss in what is law and what will I discuss in the meaning of law. Both sound like same, but there are differences, so please wait. Next one is why is law important? Next one, definitions of law. Next one, characteristics of law, functions of law, sources of law, law systems, classifications of law, and lastly we will discuss a scope of law, which being a student you must understand what are the scopes, what are the job opportunities where you can set your career. Okay, so these are the topics that we will be discussing under the heading law and introduction. So let's begin with the introduction. Well, what law is? In the introduction we will be just checking out what are the things, how and where and we find the law in our personal life as well as in professional life. So think about something like you don't know the law. Even many of the people who never studied about the law, so they don't know. It doesn't mean that one who doesn't know the law not concerned with. This is very much important and conceptual. Please pay attention to understand this. Take example of some other discipline like some other subjects, biology, though that is equally important, isn't it? Because you know or don't know the biological kind of activities that is going inside or your body, whether you notice it or not, that keeps on going in order to keep you alive, isn't it? So similarly, as it is important for your internal function to keep yourself alive, similarly law is also essential to keep your conduct, your peace, your security live, because for life you are breathing, that is not enough to survive in this world. For that, I mean for your survival, something more is also equally important, and that is basically your rights, your freedom. Without that, you can just even not imagine what should be and what would be the life. So in order to understand it in some better way, let's take some examples. First, starting with the things that whenever you go something like on your bike or driving a car, you must observe red light, isn't it? So whenever it is red, you stop there. When it is green, only then you go. Why? doing so? That is, again, behind that there is a law, there is a rule that restrains you not to jump the red light, isn't it? So similarly, whatever the activity that you follow out of your home, that is guided by the law, and each and every activity, I am telling, it's not a single activity, is guided by the law. And the moment you violate that law, the law come into picture to punish you. So this is how law governs our activity at every walk of life. And not only this, one more example I would like to share at this point in time, that is regarding take example of a child, one who just born a few days ago. So starting with very first day, see how parents start caring that child, and as the age is growing, he or she has been trained what to do and what not to do, like such kind of guidelines inside the home, outside the home. So this is the way that is also part of law, because in order to survive in a society, you have to be a civilized animal. So to be civilized, your parents initially, if you have the elder siblings, then siblings, all what they do, they give you the guidelines. This is the manner, this is not the manner, है? So you keep on getting such kind of guidelines right from the beginning itself. Once you grow up, start going to school, then your teachers, your friends, society, so wherever you go, everyone gives you some instructions and guidelines and all. And those instructions and guidelines over the period of time transformed into as a law. Okay, so that because that is under the law itself. So even I talk about the morality, that is also part of the law, because morality comes first and the law made based on those moralities and all. So there are, however, there are some activities that is immoral but not illegal, but at this point in time you simply avoid such thing, such exceptional cases, rather focus on the main point. So main point is this. So morality and the law both are interlinked and play the same role. Okay, so morality, if it is immoral, it is also illegal. Okay, so this is what law is. Willy-nilly, whether we know it, whether we study it, doesn't matter. That is in our life. As blood keep on running inside your body and gives you the life, similarly law keeps on playing its role in your life, whether you notice it or not, but that is there. Without that you cannot imagine your life. Okay, so this is what law is, overall an introduction. Now we have another topic, that is what is law basically. In brief, what you understand at this point in time, since you started studying the law, though this is very much comprehensive and can be explained in different ways, because law cannot be defined in one sentence. That we will check in the definition part. So what is law? The simplest explanation of a law could be, it is a set of rules. So there are different guidelines, that is also known as rules, what to do and what not to do, and so comprehensively all those rules and regulations, you can call them law. So that is set of rules. Okay, so this is how law can be defined. And one thing more that I would like to correlate with the introduction part, that is, as I said right from the beginning, you get the guidelines from your parents, siblings, teachers and all, as discussed. Okay, so the guidelines, at that point in time you are being taught that this is wrong, this is right. But once you grown up, those rights or wrongs becomes legal or illegal. So this is how rights and wrongs transformed into legal and illegal. Okay. So the law discusses about legal and illegal, those set of rules basically, because that is defined based on the legality and illegality of the acts. Okay, so that is what is law. The next topic that we have, that is meaning of law. What is meaning of law? See, it depends upon the perspective. Law, as I said, it is very comprehensive term. So depending upon the perspective, how you are viewing that, you can interpret the law accordingly. But since its area is so wide that you can interpret as per your perception. So let's check out what is the meaning of law on different perspectives. See, in a general, how does our society interprets means it is justice, order, reason, right, yes, and morality. This is general kind of view about the law. So it is general interpretation, general meaning. Secondly, for the legislature, I believe you must know what is legislature, the law making body. For them, what law is? Basically for the parliament, as we know that parliament is legislative body. For the parliament, what law is? That is acts, statutes, rules, orders, ordinance and regulations. So for the government, that is for the legislating body, these are the meaning of law. For judges, what is meaning of law for judges? That is judgment, decree, order, injunctions. So these are the things that, and these are basically points that is interpreted by the judges in reference to law. And again, on the religious perspective, it has again some different meanings. Like for Hindus, it is known as dharma. Okay, for Muslims, it is known as hukum. So similarly, for French, for German, there are different meaning, but the integrity, as I said, that remains same. Okay, only perspective that changes. So that is meaning of law. Now we have next chapter, that is why is law important? Very important that you should understand, because whatever your goal is, whatever your age is, whatever your choice, likeness, wish is, and whatever your profession is, irrespective of all these, the importance of law, as I believe, everyone should understand. Or basically, in order to avail your right, your freedom, you should know this, you should understand this, so that you can get success at every walk of life, and do not let others to exploit you at any walk of life. That is the beauty of the things. So let's begin with the first point. What it says, it sets a list of guidelines for individuals, for society, as well as for the government. See what law does. Sets guidelines. We are studying that only, guidelines, isn't it? So it sets guidelines for the individual. Individual means for we people. It sets guidelines for the society at large. What society has also some role, and that is guided by the law. It's not like it can do anything whatever it wants. Okay, and lastly, it also sets rules for the government. It's not like government can do anything arbitrary. Government also follow the laws, and it has to follow the instructions, law, and function based on those guidelines so that everything maintained in an order. Next point is, it prohibits someone's act that may affect others' interests or rights. What does it mean that you have the freedom? Take example of right to a speech and expression, that is Article 19 of Indian Constitution. It gives you freedom to share your views, your feelings, okay, but there is also some reasonable restrictions. You cannot defame someone, you cannot say anything which is derogatory in nature. So you have the freedom, but there is reasonable restrictions. Similarly, you have the freedom to go anywhere. It doesn't mean that you will enter in others' property. That is restricted. You cannot say like that it is something like violation of your freedom and restriction on your freedom. It is restriction on your freedom, and that is reasonable restrictions, because the moment your freedom start conflicting with others, your freedom ends there. Keep in mind, you have all the freedom until it starts conflicting with others. Okay, so these reasonable restrictions play the role of limiting others' right when it start conflicting with others. Next point is, it defines everyone's duties and responsibilities in the society. We have also discussed it while discussing the introduction. So what role that I need to play, and what is the process, basically modus operandi of playing that role, performing my work, job, that is also guided by the law. See how law just plays the role in our life at every walk of life. You go office, you follow certain rules, like you have to reach your office on time, you have to reach your school on time. So these are the things that you have to follow based on the law. So it gives the sense of duties and responsibilities. Next point is, it protects individuals' interests and rights. Well, of course, it is other way around, as we have discussed in previous point, that your right, when start conflicting with others, you are restricted. Similarly, it's other way around. If someone else's right or act violates your right, then he or she will be restricted. So that is protection, basically giving protection to your freedom. The next point is, it instructs government how to rule and promote good governance. The very first point that we have discussed, so it is related to that only. So it has the broad rules and regulations, basically guidelines for the government, how to rule, what to do. Because if you have a little idea about the constitution, then remember the directive principles, what it says. It gives the direction to the government, how to govern, how to maintain and how to promote the welfare in the society. So that is again law, and government has to work based on those guidelines. Next point is, it defines the relationships among different bodies of governments and also with other regulating bodies. This is very simple. Many of you have must seen, even not related to this subject, even then through the news and all. See, we have three governing bodies, that is executive, judiciary and legislature. All these three bodies work in harmony, isn't it? So these are the things again guided by the law. Okay, and the lastly saying in this point, that is other regulating bodies. So whatever other departments and all, everyone is under the purview of law. So all relationship, even our personal relationship, is guided by the law. Forget about the government. So starting from the government to the personal level, that is directly indirectly guided by the law itself. Okay, next one is it ensures society's peace and security and maintains harmony in society. That is the ultimate goal, purpose of the law, because all these things is done in order to maintain the peace and security in the society. Last but not the least, that is it also designs the future of an individual as well as the whole nation. What does it mean that? Okay, just recall the constitution again, that is directive principles. See how and what are the instructions given under the heading of directive principles to the government. So in order to promote the welfare in the society, in order to maintain the peace and security in the society, in order to ensure no one is dying because of hunger even, there are instructions. Okay, so all these things, what it collectively does, it just promotes the peace and security and welfare in the society, not only in the present but also for the future, so that government can design the plan, the policies accordingly. So these all are the importance of law, not in the country but in our personal life as well. Okay, so I believe you must understood the importance of law. So this is all for this video. Nevertheless, as I have discussed so many key terms under the introduction of law, so in next video, that is in the part 2, I will be continuing with the definition of the law. Okay, so see you in next video.